gas tungsten arc welding, low alloy, and stainless steel pipe. This is Welding 3, Module 5 of your NCCER welding curriculum. Objectives. I'm going to let you pause your video if you wish and read the 3 objectives for this presentation. And I'm going to let you pause your video and let you read your 5 objectives for your performance tasks out in the shop. All right, root passes on stainless steel pipe, often made with TIG instead of stick because it allows for greater penetration control. So essentially, TIG is a finesse. It's an art, and it's so much easier to control what you got going on. It's easier to control that root, that keyhole. You can see there's not a lot of smoke and sparks going everywhere. TIG is a forgiving process. If you make a mistake, it's easy to tie back in, slow down, back up, rewind. As opposed to that stick, you just got to keep on keeping on and creep up to that 12 o'clock and then see what happens. Get your flashlight out and see how that root looks. Carbon steel is easier to weld than alloy or stainless steel, so just know that it's gonna flow a lot more. It's gonna not want to tie in as well, I guess, and plus you're raised on carbon, so anything different past that is going to seem a little harder anyway. That's the nature of the beast. But just know, so carbon steel, easier than stainless. And why do we like to root pass with TIG on stainless? We have better puddle penetration, root, keyhole control, all kinds of control. On the stainless, we're going to give off what? What harmful fume? Hexavalent chromium. So we're going to want to have some sort of respirator on. This gentleman looks like he has some charcoal filters back there, okay? And that's going to protect him from the fumes. You just want to be in a well-ventilated area. If you're not in a confined space, you might not have anything to worry about, but you probably still want an oxygen monitor or a sniffer just to be safe. Nitrogen is a backing gas that is lighter than air, much like maybe helium-2. And nitrogen is going to be cheaper than argon. So you're going to see that sometimes when people are purging big pipe, they're going to purge first with nitrogen, and typically argon gives us some of the qualities we like a little better, so we'll follow that up with argon. Pure nitrogen is used to purge during pre-weld procedures to reduce costs when argon backing is required. So I guess that's what I just said. We just spit it back out in a little different feel there. So how do we do this? How do we purge? So on pipe, and we're welding stainless, if we just take off with no purge, with no inert backing gas behind us, we're going to do what's called sugar our root. And the reason they call it sugar is because it looks like burnt sugar. It's crystalline in nature, structure, and it looks rough, just like a bunch of burnt sugar might look. So we're going to clog that pipe up. We can do it several different ways. You could use bladders or plugs, pigs. At KWI, on your small coupons to practice, we're going to use masking tape. You're going to tape up the ends. You're going to tape up your root. You're going to stuff in a secondary hose, an argon hose, and then start flowing that argon in. Open your vent hole up on the top for argon. You're going to leak it in the bottom. Argon's heavy, so it's going to build up and fill it up before it starts leaking out the top vent hole. Okay. And because now that's an inert environment in there, when you weld that root will look pretty and slick, and it won't turn black and crystallize to sugar your root. Keep the tip of the filler metal in the shielding gas envelope during freehand to avoid atmospheric contamination. Basically, as you transition, maybe you're in the 6G, you're underneath, you're on a knee, and as you go to stand up, you pull your filler metal out of the protective gas envelope to readjust. You bring it back in, you're probably going to cause a trashy spot in your weld. So you want to make sure you keep that filler metal close to your nozzle, close to that argon flowing to help protect it too. You're getting it super hot, so pulling it out and immediately introducing it back to the regular atmosphere and cooling it quickly is going to be counterproductive for you. If you have to break the arc for whatever reason and your filler metal does cool down quick, maybe take your snips out and cut off that first inch before you get back into that weld. TIG slower travel speeds form larger, more deeply penetrating weld puddles. All right, so the slower we go, the more we're spending time there. So we're probably going to have to add filler, which means our puddle's going to be bigger. And obviously we're going to penetrate more because we're pushing more heat through that bevel. So we're going to get a deeper, larger puddle if we slow down. Backup flux is a dry powder mix with alcohol. So you can sort of dust or paint on this dry powder mix. You mix with alcohol, it creates kind of like a paste there to help reduce the need for backing gas. And that has nothing to do with the picture we're looking at right here. We're looking at essentially some purge hoses. So I'd imagine this is a Y. We'll issue you guys a Y when you hit stainless. You're going to have a flow meter and a Y. And one of these Ys, this is going to you on your rig, and the other one's going to your purge hose sticking in your pipe. That's all taped up. Here we go. Here's the pick. So you got your argon hose plumbed in there, all masking taped off, and that's going to fill that up with argon. You got your hole popped on the top side of the other so that your heavy argon builds up and flows out the top. And then you go ahead and peel a little bit of tape around your root and root that thing from 6 to 12, and then from 6 to 12 on the other side. Plugging the pipe near the weld with masking tape decreases the volume of backing gas needed. And I would say that it's going to be required anyway. Even on 2-inch pipe, I don't think you could just hold a naked argon hose in there and expect it to fill up and purge the way you wanted it. I'm guessing you would sugar. I would tell you, advice-wise, don't pull your tape off until you've hot passed it. Okay, if I'm QCing these tests on your Schedule 10 or your Monster, which is stainless to carbon, I can see that root just as good after you hot pass it. Okay, so you root it, unless you think you just dicked it up and you want to see it so you can cut it apart and try it in 2 weeks. Root that thing and then go ahead and hot pass it. And now we know we've built a buffer. We're not going to burn through or sugar. Now you can bust that masking tape off just one good time. We can check out that root and tell you, hey, looks good, buddy. Go ahead and fill it up. Corrosion resistance. Stainless and low alloy steels contain oxides that reduce corrosion. So that's why we like stainless, all right, because it's not rusting on us. And that's something we should probably have known, right? Stainless is corrosion resistant. Stainless low alloy or carbon steel pipe used for TIG coupons should be Schedule 10 or Schedule 40. And again, that's a preference, but yes, when we test you on your Schedule 10 stainless, that's why we're doing it. I think we're using 316 on that, but that's a common in the field, and that's what we want to get you close to, is welding what you're going to be welding on those weld tests. Consumable insert. This is a pre-placed filler metal ring that completely fuses into the root of the joint to become part of the weld. Some places call them chill rings. Garrett Maddox is taking a test with a chill ring. So essentially, you're getting out of having to use backing gas. You're kind of it's a pipe backing strip test if you can. So it would be a whole lot easier than having to root that thing. Is essentially you put that consumable insert in and start filling. All right. Filler metal cannot be cleaned; it should be thrown away. And what they're saying is, I mean, if you pull some out of the rack, some guys are getting some Brillo pads, maybe, or some sandpaper. They're cleaning it down. That's kind of a cool thing. What they're saying is, if it's been rolling around the bed of your truck or it gets dirty, dropped in mud, you really probably shouldn't clean that, especially on the stainless and low alloy side. You're going to end up, contaminating and causing that to rust. So toss it. And this is a really trashy weld that's probably caused by either some bad base metal prep or some trashy filler metal. So keep it clean. And that's it. That's Module 5 of Welding 3. Gas, tungsten arc welding, low alloy, and stainless steel